Hello and welcome, my dear students. Today we will start with a new chapter, heat. Okay. Let me start its relation with electric current. Now we all know for electric current to pass, we need two potentials. One of high potential and the other of low potential. Same way, for when heat energy travels from a substance at higher temperature to a substance at lower temperature. We all know this. Best example is if you have a glass of milk, hot glass of milk, and you want to drink that and you don't want to get late. What will you do? You will put the glass of milk in a container with cold water. So if you put the glass of milk in cold water, we all know that the energy transfer is from hot object to a cold object. So there is transfer of energy, and this energy, due to this energy transfer, the milk in the glass will be cooler soon. So that you can drink it and be on time. Okay, one example I gave you where there is transfer of energy from hotter object to colder object. Okay, when both the objects have same energy, and when they consist of same energy, further no transfer of energy is possible. That state is called as thermal equilibrium. Okay, heat is a form of energy, whereas temperature is a measurement of hotness or coldness of an object. First point, you got it. Now, form of energy means what? So, to explain heat, best example is, suppose I have an object, two objects, one of bigger size as well as the other of a smaller size. As you know, every object consists of atoms. More the size, more will be the number of atoms. When you give this objects some amount of energy, or when you supply heat, what will happen to the atoms? The atom starts moving. The atom starts moving, and any object which is moving possesses kinetic energy. Okay? Potential energy was already present in the atoms. So, the total of kinetic and potential energy contained in a substance is called as heat energy or thermal energy. As you supply heat, what will happen is these atoms starts moving. The kinetic energy increases. Now, as you know, here two atoms I have supposed because the object is bigger. Whereas here the size of the object is small. So, I have considered only one atom. So, who will have more heat energy? Heat energy is the total of kinetic energy and potential energy. No, potential energy we will not consider. Let us consider the number of atoms present. More atoms, more kinetic energy. Okay. So, this object which has more space or which has more volume will possess more kinetic energy, whereas this object with lesser size will possess less kinetic energy. So, the heat energy will be more on this object and heat energy will be less on the smaller object. Did you understand? So, what is heat? Heat is the total of potential and kinetic energy present in a substance. So, first point you will write, heat is a form of energy. So, first point you will consider, heat is form of energy, whereas temperature is the measurement of hotness or coldness of an object. How much heat is present in that object, that you have to consider the kinetic energy and the potential energy present in that object. Whereas how hot or cold an object is, for that we will use temperature. Understood? Okay? Now, and to explain heat energy, heat in the form of energy, I gave you this example. Second point of distinguish, you can write simple point. The unit of heat is calorie, erg, joule. Unit of energy is joule, calorie, erg. So, these all you can consider as unit of heat. Whereas unit of temperature, how do you measure temperature? Temperature is measured in degrees Celsius, Kelvin, Fahrenheit. Okay, all these are the units of temperature. Did you understand the difference between heat and temperature? We discuss that. Next is the ways of transfer of heat. Heat can be transferred in the form of conduction. Best example is when you are cooking something and you leave the spatula, that stirrer, you leave it inside the curry. All of a sudden you go and hold it, it will be burning hot, right? You may burn your hands because of conduction. Heat transferred from the pan to the spatula. Conduction, okay? And conduction mainly we consider solids. For convection, the second way of transfer of heat is convection. Convection takes place in liquids. As you know, when you keep water for boiling, you can see that from the bottom few bubbles coming up. That is, first the lowest layer of the water gets heated, that travels up, giving place for the next layer to get heated. So like that, layer by layer, all the water gets heated and it starts boiling. Okay, so this way of transfer of heat through liquids is called as convection. Example, conduction you understood, I am explaining convection. So I have this water and a burner, okay, burner. So what will happen is, first the lowest layer of water will get heated. So when it gets heated, that water will start expanding, because we know that any solids on heating expands. Liquids on heating expands. Solid expands to liquid, liquid expands to gas. All basic things. So here liquid I am heating, so this liquid expands, it becomes lighter and it travels up. Now the cold water which is above, that water takes the space down. Like that, each layer of water gets heated, and this way of transfer of heat through liquids is called as convection. Okay, so second way of transfer of heat is convection. The third way of transfer of heat is called as radiation. For that there is no condition that solid or liquid like that. No, radiations, X-ray radiations, UV radiations, okay, all those radiations. Best example is the sun. The light that is radiated from the sun spreads throughout the earth. So here these all are the types of energy transfer or heat transfer. Conduction in solid, convection in liquids, and radiation. Okay, having discussed some basic things, now let us move on to the main topic, that is latent heat. New topic for you. Not new topic, you have learnt it before also. Sorry. So for this, what is the basic experimental setup? I have taken a beaker, and in that beaker we will take few pieces of ice. Now this is the stand, and then the most important thing, a burner. A burner we need. Okay, so we will heat this ice cubes. Before heating, we will note the temperature. Maybe the temperature is below 0 degrees Celsius, so that will not be shown in the thermometer, because our thermometer starts from 0 degrees Celsius. Okay. So as you start heating the cubes of ice, you will see that the temperature remains at 0 for quite a long time. The temperature remains at 0 for quite a long time, and as you start heating, these ice starts getting converted into water. Okay, the ice starts getting converted into water, and in that process, when ice is getting converted into water, in that time period, you will see that there is no change in the temperature. The thermometer shows constant temperature. As soon as all the ice gets converted into water, what will happen? The temperature starts rising. All this we will show it in the form of a graph. So as you do the experiment, you have this experiment. As you do this experiment, simple experiment, you have to sit with a beaker and a few ice cubes, dip thermometer, take your pen, take your writing material, make a table of temperature and time, this way. So I'll draw a graph, temperature versus time. Okay, so here we will show the temperature. the temperature we will show from 0 to 100. Okay, and on x-axis we will take the time. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, like that it will continue. You will see that for quite some time, okay, the temperature will remain at 0. So that part I will mark it as AB. In this time period, that is when you are on AB, this time period is taken by the whole ice cubes to get converted into water. So there is change of state. Ice is in solid state. It is getting converted into water, which is in liquid state. So that whole process took place in this time period. On this graph, AB, as soon as the ice cube melts, after every ice cube has melted, you will see that there is a rise in the temperature. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and when it reaches at 100 degrees Celsius, still here, okay, there is a rise in the temperature. When it reaches 100 degrees Celsius, what will happen to this water? The water will start boiling. Okay. Now, at this point, again there is a special thing which is happening. That is, what happened on AB? Solid got converted into liquid. What will happen at this point from B to C? Suppose from B to C, the temperature was increasing. From 0, it increased to 100. Now from C to D, again it will show a constant temperature. It will not rise above 100. Why? In that time period, the whole liquid is getting converted into vapor. No? After 100 degrees Celsius, the water starts boiling, right? So, as if you forget to put off the gas, what will happen? The water level goes down. That is, that water gets converted into vapor. There is change of state. So, where the temperature is constant, this is CD and this was AB. In both these cases, there was change in the state of the substance. Here, ice getting converted into liquid. Here, liquid was heated. Here, there is no change in state. Here, there is no change in state of matter. Whereas here, there was change from ice to liquid, AB. CD also there was change of liquid to vapor. So when there is change from liquid to vapor or from solid to liquid, the temperature remains constant because that is the time taken by the substance for bond breaking. Now what is this bond breaking? Okay, I am going to the next topic. What was happening in this stage from A to B? I will explain. Now we all know that in solids the bonds are very strong because the force of attraction is more, no? For solids, remember one diagram in your lower class you have studied. Solids were showed this way, liquids were showed, the atoms were tightly packed, closely packed, whereas for liquids there was some distance between the atoms. Okay, this way you remember the diagram in your lower class you have gone through. So let us consider the solids. When you heat the solids, it will take some time for the solids to break their bonds and to convert it into another state, that is liquid. So the constant temperature at which ice gets converted into water is called as melting point of ice. Now to get converted from ice to water, how much heat energy was absorbed? Okay, you supplied burner, no? So burner was giving heat energy. So how much heat energy was absorbed by solid to get converted into liquid state is called latent heat of fusion. What I said, the constant temperature at which solids convert into liquid is called as melting point of solids. Or here I took the example of ice. The constant temperature at which ice gets converted into water is called melting point of ice. First definition, did you write it? The constant temperature at which ice converts into water is called melting point of ice. Wrote it up. Now second definition, latent heat. Now here what is happening is, in the first case, AB. In AB, what is happening? Ice is getting converted into water. And in that time period, there is no rise in temperature. So, that ice was absorbing heat to break its bond and to move and to get converted into liquid. Because how can you put the definition of latent heat of fusion? Fusion means melting, solid getting converted into liquid. So, the amount of heat energy absorbed at constant temperature by unit mass. Unit mass means it can be 1 kilogram or 1 gram. 1 kilogram of ice or 1 gram of ice. How much heat energy that 1 kilogram or 1 gram of ice is taking to get converted into liquid. That is called as latent heat of fusion. So when solid gets converted into liquid, you will use the word fusion. So define latent heat of fusion. The amount of heat energy absorbed at constant temperature by, because that AB you remember, no, it was constant temperature. The temperature did not increase or decrease. When will it increase? After the whole ice gets converted into liquid, after change of state. So I repeat, the amount of heat energy absorbed at constant temperature by unit mass of a solid to get converted into liquid phase is called latent heat of fusion. Now here I have specified one, that is unit mass. So you will add one more word here, that is called specific latent heat of fusion. When you specify about unit mass means 1 kilogram or 1 gram. So you will make one more term in your definition, that is specific latent heat of fusion. When you are not using the word unit mass, you can just write it as latent heat of fusion. When are you using specific? When you specify the mass, unit mass of solid. Understood the definition? Okay. Having done that, now let us learn the next definition. The third definition, very simple. The constant temperature at which liquid gets converted into gaseous form is called as boiling point of liquid. Understood? This was the third definition. Now we come on to the fourth definition, latent heat. In latent heat, we are always talking about change of state. So here we saw solid to liquid. Now we will see liquid to gas. So the skeleton will remain the same. Latent heat of vaporization. Define latent heat of vaporization. The amount of heat energy absorbed at constant temperature by unit mass of a, now here solid will change to liquid. By unit mass of a solid will change to liquid. By unit mass of a liquid to convert into gaseous phase is called specific latent heat of vaporization. Vaporization. Understood? Repeat with me. Define latent heat of vaporization. The amount of heat energy absorbed at constant temperature, like we do in class. Repeat. The amount of heat energy absorbed at constant temperature by unit mass of a liquid to get converted into gaseous phase is called specific latent heat of vaporization. Listen and say it along with me. Latent heat of vaporization. The amount of heat energy absorbed at constant temperature by unit mass of a liquid to get converted into gaseous phase is called specific latent heat of vaporization. Understood these 4 definitions? Remember the graph, what was happening in AB? Latent heat of fusion, solid getting converted into liquid. Temperature rose. Now liquid will start converted into gas. Okay, so there latent heat of vaporization. Understood? This will write down difference between heat and temperature. Then you will write about transfer, ways of transfer of heat, conduction, convection, radiation. Just specify the names. Then you will write about latent heat. In that we discussed melting point of ice, latent heat of fusion, boiling point of liquid and latent heat of vaporization. I hope you understood the concept well. We will meet in the next class. Till then, bye.